welcome to the Para-Nuts Paranormal Podcast. This is episode, I guess, 8, 9, 10?
8.
8? Okay, very good. We did a live one, so that one kind of threw me completely off. I'm Big Dave, along with Ryan Brogdon. You'll never find two guys crazier about the paranormal than these nuts. So we've been gone for a couple of weeks. We've both kind of taken some time off to spend with our families and to kind of reorganize a few things. And of course, many of you probably have guessed, we are also in the process of editing a new film. It's going to be called The Hill House Manor, Haunted Nation, The Hill House Manor. That'll be coming out in the next few weeks. As always, it's all about bringing you real paranormal evidence, nothing faked. To the best of our ability, we do our best to show you what we find and allow you to make up your mind as to whether or not you believe or don't believe or speculate that we're faking it, which, just so you know, we don't. Have no desire to. To us, there seems to be absolutely no point in doing something that's stupid. However, a lot of people do. And that is what brings us to this episode. Believe it or not, Ryan has got another wild hair up his butt about Beardo the Weirdo. Beardo gets scared.
And this guy I almost got to the point where I could say, okay, I like the guy. I watch most of their videos and just kind of normal conversation and stuff. And it's like, all right. But then he'll say something that is just so completely ignorant that it's just like, okay, I can't.
Can't hold back.
I can't. And then, so the last couple of weeks, I've just kind of been keeping an eye on him, and he started promoting some other so-called debunkers, and so I go watch their stuff. I want to see, if they're actually catching stuff, because if I do get it, if somebody's actually faking stuff and you can prove it and show it, okay, I get it. It's messed up. It shouldn't be faking anything. I get it.
And you and I both want to see stuff like that because, we want to make sure that who we're supporting are legit and not a bunch of idiots that we thought were real and aren't. Because to us, it's all about real paranormal evidence because there's no reason, once you've done this long enough, you realize there's no reason to fake it because this is real. It's not movie theatrics when you're really doing it.
Right.
There's no point in faking it. So, we want to know when we're being duped by people who have nothing better to do than create some stupid horror film. I don't need that crap.
Right. Well, and I mean, a lot of them are pages that most people have never heard of. I mean, some of these groups or, page or whatever it is they're only on YouTube, and, they may have just been on YouTube for a while or whatever, but they're not, one that the majority of people that are actually in the paranormal world would go and watch. They're just another group out there. But it just so happens the ones that Beardo and these other guys like to pick on are the ones that have a bunch of subscribers. Why they wouldn't go pick on, some random group that has 3,000-4,000 subscribers and, why would you pick on those guys? What benefit would that give you? Nothing.
Like us.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you go?
A little guy.
Yeah, you can go debunk our video if you want to. Have at it. Would love it. But you wouldn't go after us because, our little 4,000 subscribers ain't worth your time. Because what is it going to get you? Is it going to get you more subscribers and more video views? No. So we're not worth the time. But let's go after Twin, who has almost 700K. Let's go after Mindseed, who has however many millions, and Laney and Ben, which I had never heard of until I saw Beardo trying to debunk them. And they have millions. Of course you're going to go after those people.
Which leads us to the title of this episode. Beardo the Critic? ? I think what, once again, I like the guy. I think he's fun. He's entertaining to watch. I enjoy him, but you keep bringing these videos to my attention that are making me go, because I'm watching these videos and I'm saying to myself, okay, that is speculation.
It's
That is
speculation, yes,
that is
but it's
not debunking.
also no, it's not debunking. It's being critical. Like it's a he's basically the paranormal version of a movie critic, paranormal film, to a movie critic. That's what he's doing.
And that's totally okay, right? It's totally
Sure.
okay if you want to be that because you know what? That's fun to watch too.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
just don't end your critique with debunked.
Yeah, it's fake.
It's
Okay.
fake.
Yeah.
Debunked. You
Yeah.
can't do that, man.
No, especially when most of your video is just you talking about, oh, I don't like the way they did that, or this is not how you do this, and but you're not pointing anything out. You're not proving anything wrong. You're just saying what you don't like about it, which is
Oh,
great. But just like he tells paranormal groups to, if they're being shady about something, to put, for entertainment purposes only at the front of their videos, Beardo needs to do the same thing. Beardo is a critic. He's not a debunker. Change your title, correct it, make sure that it's right, because I haven't seen him debunk anything except the only one that I saw that was legit was um, the mind seed, where you could see the guy's reflection in the picture.
oh
Okay,
yeah, which was totally awesome. I
sure,
totally I give Beardo such good marks for that. To
it
me,
was a good catch.
that was a good catch. It was good work. It doesn't mean okay, I know Beardo is one of our subscribers. Okay, and more than likely he's watching this. And Beardo, good to
I
have you
hope.
here with us. Yeah, Beardo, good to have you here with us. And we're not trying to just like beat the crap out of you here, buddy, because I like you. Uh, all we're trying to do is try to help you, try to lead you in a certain direction. But I'm beginning to think, and this is where my concern is. I don't think what's happening here is Beardo being just dumb to what he's doing. I think what's happening here is a very simple case of ratings, of views, of subscribers, of you get my point.
He found a niche that
I,
worked.
so what do we do about that? Do we praise him? Do we chastise him? Does
Well, I will if he changes his title. If he goes for Beardo the critic, I'll go watch him all the time. As long as he's not speculating on things being fake when he doesn't have the paranormal knowledge, for one, or experience to call things fake, but he also doesn't prove anything. He has to understand the definition of a debunker. A debunker will see something and then say, okay, I bet I can recreate that. He will go and recreate it, film it, show that he has recreated it, and be like, look, this is what I did to do exactly what I just saw. It was fake.
but now hold on a minute. I've watched some of the stuff that Beardo's done where he has said that he has done that. Okay, but that's still not the issue because what happens is what's happening in some of these videos that I've seen that you brought to my attention is that he's speculating that what he just did to recreate it is what they did when there's actually no proof on film that that's what they did.
I haven't seen him recreate anything to show that something was debunked. Like I haven't seen him, for an example, the I don't remember if we showed it or not. The one where he was saying that Twin was putting a mask over the stairs, and the ball changes colors and things like that. It looked like the ball was just put into view. Um, show me, recreate that. Show me how you do a mask and how you can create that.
Well,
There's,
this is where you and I disagree on this
okay,
subject because you're looking at it like that. I'm not looking at it like that. I'm looking at it as in if I was them, if I was Twin Paranormal, for instance, and
mhm,
I was the one with that ball and I was there, I experienced it. It was real. It happened. I know I didn't make it up.
right.
Even if you can recreate all of that with masking, you cannot prove that what they did was the same thing as what you recreated.
Oh yeah, I
That's
agree.
the whole point. It still comes back to it's speculation. It's totally different than catching the other guys with the obvious image in the mirror of him in the closet.
Right.
You, you
Yeah.
can't, you can't, you don't even need to recreate that.
No, and that I agree with. My point is that that's what a debunker does. Um, there was a video of a guy that said that he could open a portal, and it showed him using tones and stuff, and he had a wireless speaker sitting on the bed, and by playing these certain tones, it opened up, like you could see this portal like start to open up, like floating in the air, and he got to where it got big enough to where he could move the camera and actually go and look inside. And he was like, if you don't know where that is, that's in Arizona, and there's a name for the place, but it's a place that's known for like its kinetic energy and things like that, and possibly having portals and all that. But and then so like apparently the guy like disappeared, like a month later. No more videos, nothing. Nobody can find him. They're saying that he jumped through a portal that he opened. But this guy that has it.
That sounds, I'm sorry, man, it sounds pretty fishy.
Oh, I know. But if you watch the video, you're like, holy, that looks real. Like it looked legit. But
Maybe he's a really good editor.
well, that's what I'm saying. This debunker like said, "Oh, I saw it," and I was like, "Really? You kidding me?" And he pulled up his computer screens, took a picture of a room, did this, did this, did this, did this mask, made a hole in it, blah blah blah. Put a picture of Arizona behind it, did all this stuff, and it looked identical. And he's like, "This is what the guy did." He's like, "That was easily created. Just take somebody that knows how to do it." And everybody's like, "Oh man, what a letdown!" Because like we wanted this guy to have jumped through a hole in the middle of a room and end up in Arizona somewhere. So it
Right?
was like, but that's a legitimate debunker. He saw something and said, "Okay, I'm going to show you how he did this." Not, "Oh, that's fake," because why would there be a hole in the middle of the room? That's fake. That's what Beardo would do. I don't believe it. That's fake. But he ain't going to show how to do it because he doesn't know. He's speculating. So you can't call somebody fake off of speculation. My other point to that is Beardo doesn't have enough paranormal experience to know what's real and what's not. I also don't think he's open enough to the paranormal to have those kind of experiences like
But
other
once
groups.
again, let's be careful on that because we don't know Beardo personally. Not yet. I would love to have an opportunity to have him on the show and to talk to him, man to man, and ask him about his experience and where he's at.
He
Because
talks about his experience that he says he doesn't have enough paranormal experience and that he's working on it. And okay, you're working on it, but how can you be a debunker if you're working on your experience? That's like me going and writing a mortgage while I'm trying to figure out how to be a real estate agent. Like it doesn't work that way.
well, and that leads me to a new video that you've recently sent me of someone who he is supposedly promoting. Is
He
that a good
kind
way
of
to put it?
yeah, he kind of promoted this guy. I'd never heard of him before.
Neither have I
It's a
until you sent me this video. What's his name?
they're called PSI investigations.
Okay, let's take a look at this video real quick.
Was that what you were saying? Wait and see? No.
Yeah.
Are you upstairs? Thank you for setting that device off.
Did you see it? Did you see it? As paranormal investigators, we don't just look for paranormal activity. We look for fakery. And it was on the wall. It was in the form of his shadow. You can see. At first, I thought it was a two-way radio, that he was keying the mic and pointing at REM pod, but it wasn't. It was a mobile phone. So what he's doing, basically, there's my phone. The camera's off him. They're asking the question, and the shadow on the wall. When he's finished asking, you see him press the phone again. So it stops the REM pod going off. Let me take it back and show you again.
No.
What's going off? Shadow here, look, where the cursor is, that is that guy's hand. He's holding a mobile phone. Now watch the other hand, the shadow, come in and do this and stop it.
Are you upstairs?
Did you see it? Turned it off. Debunked. Fake as hell. Learn about shadows, people.
Okay, so first of all, they're obviously from the same country because they have that great accent, which I love the accent. I wish I could speak like that. But look, the thing is here, what we just saw there to me is another one of those moments where speculation rules. All right, as simple as that. That was all speculation. Okay, we weren't there. We weren't there in the moment when Twin Paranormal was filming that particular thing. You brought up some points in that particular clip that were interesting to me.
It's not only speculation, it's ignorance. You can clearly see that and if you've watched the show ever, you know that they each hold a camera in one hand. They all have a camera in one hand. They film themselves and they film each other. You can clearly see the shadow, and you can see the way he's got his camera up here pointed at his face. His other hand his left hand is out holding a mobile phone because they have the app on their phones and they're always running more than one device at a time. So one of them might be running Spirit Talker on one phone while the other is running the Necrometer on the other. And that way they can kind of compare the responses, that come in. And so he has that in one hand and his camera in the other. So tell me how he's reaching over and pushing the button on his phone to make the REM pod go off. There's two things wrong with that. One, we've tested trying to get a cell phone to set off a REM pod. A cell phone is not going to set off a REM pod like that.
I mean, I'm telling you, yes. A walkie-talkie can absolutely do it. But look, here's the thing. A quick lesson in what a REM pod does. It's simple. Whereas a K2 meter, for instance, you turn it on, it detects EMF.
Right.
Right? EMF in the atmosphere around you.
Yeah.
Cell phones can make that go off. Okay?
Yeah.
But a REM pod, on the other hand, is completely opposite in its operation. A REM pod actually emits an electromagnetic field around it.
Yep.
And anything that breaks that field makes the REM pod alert.
Right.
Okay? That's how a REM pod works. That's the basic way of putting it. So, you can have radio waves from a walkie-talkie will break that field. But as far as a cell phone goes, we're talking about satellite signals. You can break the signal with a cell phone if you put the cell phone in the field around the REM pod. Right. But as to our experience over 17 years of using cell phones around REM pods, we have not yet had an issue where a REM pod has been affected by a cell phone call, a cell phone being in the room or in the vicinity, unless somebody in our team drops a cell phone on the REM pod.
This is the same thing that Beardo said.
Not to say, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but not to say that there might be some magical way of doing it, some kind of device you create on your cell phone to make a REM pod go off and on. Maybe. I've never heard of it. I hope that I'm not going to be called an idiot here because of something you and I haven't heard about. But to my knowledge, it's never been an issue with us, with our cell phones creating any sort of interference with the REM pod.
The only thing has always been the radios, and it's always annoying as hell when you hit it and you forget that you have REM pods everywhere, and you hit the button and it starts screaming everywhere. It's like, oh my God. But cell phones, no, it doesn't happen. Now, we turn off our cell phones or we put them on airplane mode or whatever else, but even when we don't, if we're just walking around doing stuff, like I've never had a REM pod go off because my cell phone's in my hand or my pocket, or I'm on an app, or I'm doing this or that. I've never had it happen. So this is the same thing that Beardo said in his first video that we talked about, where he said that Twin was setting off the REM pod that was sitting up against a tree with his cell phone. Maybe he had a cell phone on the other side of the tree and was calling it. Come on, man. This is where I'm talking about. If you don't have experience, you don't comment on it. Like, it's just not. It's not your place. Like,
playing devil's advocate here, there's not a language barrier here, is it? I mean, they don't see a cell phone as the same thing as a walkie-talkie.
maybe because in the CSI guys, CSI investigations, he said in that video that when he was talking about Twin, he's like, well, we've done a bunch of debunking of REM pods. It's like, oh, okay, you have. So if a cell phone sets this off, I want to see it. So I went back and I found the video and I watched it. And he's holding up a REM pod, and then he has a two-way radio. And he's like, see? I'm like, okay, buddy, do you know what a mobile phone is? Like, do you realize the cell phone and a two-way radio? Maybe I'm ignorant and they don't use cell phones in the UK. Maybe they all have two-way radios.
Come on, man.
I know, but
Ryan,
I don't get it. Both of them now have both called a two-way radio a mobile phone. So I don't know. Maybe the US has these fancy cell phones and they're like, man, ours has one button. Like, what are y'all tapping on?
well, they got the fancy one. It's going to have a few channels too that they can choose from.
Yeah, 1 through 10.
Calling you on 6.
Yeah.
Be sure to answer. Of course,
Yeah.
leaving a voicemail would probably suck. How would you do that, right?
Oh yeah, you couldn't. Morse code, maybe it has a little Morse code button on it. Yeah. So I don't get it.
Great. We're going to get a bunch of hate mail from people in UK. Look, folks, we're just kidding. It's just a joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're just a couple of redneck Americans.
What have I ever told you? My
with cell phones.
My family tree goes back to England. Like, the first Brogdon that came to the United States was a Duke from England. When I went back and researched our family name and everything, so I know I'm originally ancestors and everything are from England, but I found that out because I started thinking one day. You know how you have a voice, like your own voice in your head, like when you're thinking about stuff, like you're talking to yourself.
No, I don't know what you're
voice in your head. You just think something, but you don't talk.
I'm screwing with you, man. Yes, I think everybody has some voice in them. Yeah.
The last person I think I mentioned this to said the same thing, and I was like, "Holy shit, I'm nuts!" But the voice that's in my head has an English accent.
That's
always has.
Oh my god, that is some funny shit right there. I don't care.
It always has, and ever since I can remember.
Can you repeat it, how it sounds?
Yeah, it's my voice, but it's like if I'm thinking about, I don't know.
Let's say McDonald's. What does it say about McDonald's?
Yeah, I'll say I'm trying to think about what I want, and I'll be like, well, I have a McChicken, and I think I want. I think I'll take a what's it? A McCafe. And some French fries. I don't know why they call them French fries. Everybody eats them.
Oh, shut the hell up, man. You're going to make a fat guy have a heart attack.
But that's my voice in my head all the time.
God, that's funny shit. I don't care who you are.
So, I mean, I can change it every once in a while. Like if I'm cooking some good fried chicken, it might have a little bit of a southern accent. Or something. I'll kind of change it up a little bit.
Okay. We're going way off.
For the most part.
No, but that's okay. But I'm going to leave this in here because this is funny shit. Okay, so look. I don't even know where to go from there. Okay. Well, no, hold on. I'll figure it out because I don't want the other, voice in your head to take over.
Yeah.
So look, here's the thing. It's funny. Okay, so
next time we're on a investigation, you'll be like, he's got that English voice going on in his head right now. I bet.
Oh my God! Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That's a damn voice in the background. Did you hear it? Did you hear that voice?
What was that?
What was that? Somebody called a Bobby. All right. Okay.
This is. I just want to do a quick.
Stop by your head.
I want to give Beardo a little bit of advice.
Okay.
I know we're not these great filmmakers and all this stuff. I get all that.
We may be one day.
But man, if you've been criticizing as a critic all these different paranormal shows and YouTube channels, you at least see their production value and how they film a paranormal investigation. So
the hard work that goes into it as well.
Yeah. I went to go look at some of Beardo's paranormal investigation videos, and I want to show you what 90% of his video or his film is. Okay, it's like this. We're in this abandoned building, and I think I smell some raccoon shite right over there. And we're going to see if there's any spirits want to communicate. Oh, I didn't hear anything. This place isn't haunted. We got to go.
It's all fake.
Literally, his face. That's why I call him Beardo, because all you see is his beard the entire time.
Whoa, shit. I'm sorry, man.
He doesn't show the actual investigation.
Oh, God.
Control had radioed back up to us and said, if I'm using the radio this end, it'll set both of them off. When both of these were alarming, I wasn't using the radio. They told me to talk them through the camera up there, so I wasn't setting everything off. And
there was one where he was talking about some hearing walking on the other side of the wall behind him. I don't know if he was sitting in his bathroom floor or if he was actually in a haunted location, because we only saw his face for 30 minutes. That was it. So I'm just saying, if you're going to be so critical of these paranormal shows that put a lot of production value and time into editing their stuff to make it entertaining for people, you might want to do at least the same in your own videos. Just a thought.
Oh, my. Are we on a roll tonight, Brian?
Hey, I mean, it's just the fact that we take this so serious. We take paranormal research and investigation so seriously.
That is true.
And so it's one of those things where if I see a group, whether I like them or not, or whatever it is, but I know that they are, maybe I don't like their personalities or something like that, but some of their stuff is cool, like some of their experiments or things that they do, or even the stuff that they catch. I still have respect for that group because they have the same interest and the same passion that we do. And just like people probably watch us and are like, they're boring as shit, but man, I got some badass evidence. Okay, completely cool.
Yeah, no, I kind of take offense to that. I don't know if we're
well.
We're not boring, because here's the thing. I mean, I don't know. We kind of think we're cool.
Well, yeah,
yes,
but
the thing is, we take it very seriously. We take our evidence very seriously.
Yes.
One of my things that I say on a regular basis that I really like, which I don't like a lot of the things that I say, but I really like what I say when it comes to, I used to be a 100% skeptic, but now, after all these years of investigating and so much incredible evidence that we've caught and seen and experienced, I am now only 100% skeptic about the evidence we catch.
Right.
And I still am. There's still nights where I sit in bed before I go to bed at night thinking about the evidence that we've caught that was so freaking unbelievable. And I go, well, maybe there was this thing, or maybe it was that thing, or there's still that part of me that doesn't believe it, even though I experienced it and it was real and we did everything we could to try to debunk it. So yes, we take this very seriously, and we know that some things are so unbelievable when they happen that people like Beardo and this PSI Paranormal Investigations these are the guys that come in that haven't quite got as much experience as we have and done, and they don't realize how hard it is to get this evidence that's so crazy, and then go and try to debunk it and do everything you can to try to figure out what happened so that you can help other people who watch this sleep at night after they watch it and say, oh, it was just this. That's what we like to do. I don't know how many investigations have we done that we just totally enjoyed finding the answer and it being logical and explainable and natural. We love that. We love that just as much as catching the big evidence.
Right.
There's nothing more satisfying than catching something that everybody in the whole group goes, oh, what the? And then 20 minutes later, after some debunking, tried to figure out what it was, we find the answer and we go,
yeah.
Thank God.
Like the mouse.
Yeah, thank God that's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
like the mouse at Manor.
But here's the thing, because you and I have financial backing, we were able to go to some of the most haunted locations in the entire planet, on the entire planet. When you do stuff like that, you're going to catch things that most paranormal investigators on this planet will never capture.
Right.
And that's the reason why you see a lot of interesting evidence on the films that we do, because we tend to go to those places that's already been vetted by the big guys on national television shows, because we want to catch real evidence, because our goal is research why these things happen, how they happen.
Yeah, it's multiple things though, and I think that's, yes, we go to some of the most haunted locations in the country, so that gives you more of an advantage towards catching evidence.
Right. It's not because we're lucky, folks. It's not because we're lucky. It's calculated.
Oh, but yeah, and it's the location. It's also our openness to experience, our openness to the paranormal, our openness because of the experiences we've had. We know it can happen. I think that going into it plays a big into it in the energy level. And there's also just the luck of the draw on the energy level in the house that night, because that's why we do multiple nights at a location, because it's hit or miss. You never know when the energy level is going to be high in there enough to get evidence.
This is true.
The guys like, Beardo and stuff like that, he says, I've been to the most haunted locations in the UK. Yeah, if you just go for half a night and be like, if somebody else got stuff here, it's fake. Okay, nobody. That's not how it works. Mm-mm. If you don't go to a location and spend at least 2 or 3 nights there and try to soak yourself into the location, then your chances of catching actual evidence are slim to none. And so that's one of the things that it just doesn't get.
I tell you what, you're going to have an opportunity soon to see a true example of that from us. We'll be able to show you a prime example of what we're talking about right now. Some nights are just prime in these haunted locations. Other nights, it's as if nothing's there. Nothing. That's the reason why, number one, we don't do half a night. We don't do a whole night. We do several nights in a location. I think we started off doing 2 nights, and then we went to 3 nights and started hitting some of these locations. And you know what? Even the most haunted locations in the world that we've done, there's always at least one off night where nothing happens. It's as if they all took off and went to a barbecue over at Bob's place.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like nothing. Like Granny's house, on a Sunday afternoon, getting ready to have dinner. It's like, feels great in there.
That's
and
right.
then there may be 1 night or even 2 nights of just pure terror, and we're sitting there saying to ourselves, what did we get ourselves into? What the hell is going on in this place?
Yeah, exactly.
But that's how it is. And so, for any paranormal investigators that are just now getting into this, keep in mind what we just said. It's very, very important. I don't care if it costs you more. If you're out to find real evidence, you need to give yourself more time than just 1 night. All right. That's the reason why back in the old days, true paranormal researchers didn't go to a place 1 night or 2 nights. They spent sometimes weeks investigating one location.
That's what
sometimes months.
Kindred Spirits. Kindred Spirits, they usually spend like 4 days to at least a week at each shoot that they do, and they spend, they go in the first night and they assess everything, and then they kind of do some history and they kind of figure out what questions to ask, and they really kind of go, but they're there for 4, 5, 6 nights at a time. So by the end of it, it's kind of like the experiment, the 28 Days Haunted experiment they did on Netflix. It was all off of an experiment that the more the longer you're in a location, a haunted location, the more involved in the location you get, the more sensitive to the activity and everything. So, I mean, you can think, at Hill House, at the haunted Hill House, the last time we were there for 3 nights, and it really wasn't until the final night that things popped off, and it was disembodied voice after disembodied voice, and it was like, what is happening?
Yeah, I know. We had like 3 in a matter of 4 minutes.
Yeah, it was like we were sitting in the kitchen just listening to them talking outside loudly, and it was like, this is insane. But that was the 3rd night we were there.
So the point is this: you get to the point where when you're doing this for a long period of time, you realize how difficult it is to catch this evidence. When you go and you film it and you take the evidence and you try to bunk it, and then you decide, okay, we're going to use this evidence in our film to show the world what we've caught here, and as a group and your integrity as a group that everything that you've caught is legitimate to the best of your ability and the best of your knowledge, and you've done everything you can to try to debunk it and find a natural explanation for it. And then somebody comes along who doesn't know what it's like to go through all of this or spend the time to do this or work so hard or put the money into it like we have, and says, oh, it's fake. Oh, that's not real. Or look, we see a shadow over there, so it's got to be fake. Or, I can do that with my walkie-talkie. Come on, that's unfair to people like us little guys who are working so hard out of the kindness of our heart because we've become passionate about this because we've realized this is real and it's not something that has to be fake, who put so much time into it to bring real paranormal evidence to people who've never experienced it. Then you're just taking that knowledge that we bring to the table and work so hard and put so much into to give people and just throwing it out the window. They're never going to experience what we've experienced because they're not going to believe it. They're going, look, I get it. I even have some of my close friends who've known me for years who watch our films and go, man, I sure would like to believe everything that was on there is true.
Oh, I know
it's so frustrating when somebody who I thought totally trusted me and believed in me, knowing that I wouldn't make stuff up, says something like that. But it's going to happen. And there's a difference, though. There's a difference, though, when you've got a platform of thousands of viewers and you're saying things like that.
Right.
There's a difference. The difference is simple. One guy saying it to another guy, okay, that's fine. That's your opinion. One guy saying it to 10,000 guys or more is a matter of taking the responsibility of that microphone more seriously.
Yeah.
That's a big microphone you got there, Beardo, and whatever this PSI guy. Let's be responsible. Look, if you call yourself a paranormal investigator, I know, Beardo, you may be thinking to yourself, whoa, wait a minute, all of a sudden the fat guy's on me now. Beardo, I love you, man. And that's the reason why I'm saying this. I want to see more of you just being that critic that you are. That's cool, man. Be that. Just please, don't use speculation. Don't use your microphone to throw out words like they're fake or they made it up. Unless you got hardcore stuff like the videos from Mindseed. I mean, that's hardcore evidence. Be a debunker when that happens.
You can get go after the same kind of shows, go after the big subscriber shows, all that. You can go after those guys, and critic the crap out of them. I don't like these guys. These guys are, which is one of the things they say about, another thing they say about Twin is that they're jumping around and being disrespectful. For one, they do all that stuff before they even start the investigation because they're freaking YouTubers. That's what they do.
They're youngins.
They're trying to get to that younger crowd. I mean, their crowd is guys that are, a group that's 18 to 30. Like, that's their key group. They're YouTubers. That's what they do. Just because they don't do it the way that you like to do it or the way that you like to see it done doesn't mean they're doing it wrong. They're doing it right, apparently, because they got 700,000 subscribers and you got, 7 or 8? Like, obviously, they're doing something right. So, I get why you would go after them. They got a bunch of subscribers, and you've found this niche where you're going to go after the big guys, cause trouble with their subscribers and their fans, and they're going to go back and forth, and your fans start fighting, and, oh, look, your numbers are going up. They're going higher and higher because you're getting them all riled up. I get it. But you can't talk about the hate and everything that's coming down from these groups that you are hating on and getting mad because they're, throwing copyright claims at you or defamation claims and things like that. They're trying to save their livelihood. If you have legitimate proof that they're fake, okay, great. Show it, prove it, and say it's fake. If you just don't like them or you're just going after them because they're a big channel and it's going to get you some views and some subscribers, be a critic. Critic the crap out of them. Tell them you don't like them. You don't like the way they do things. So-and-so's butt's too big. Whatever you want to say. Who cares? That stuff is entertaining. Saying something's fake when it's not, or you don't have proof of it, or you don't have experience enough to prove it, that's BS. That's fake.
There's a part of me that hopes, and I guess call me that guy who's just always looking at the best in people, that hopes that Beardo is not just in it for numbers, because I really like the guy. I mean, I don't even know him, but from what I've seen of him, I've gotten to really like his personality, and I just hope that that's not the case, because, like you said, he would be just as entertaining if he was just criticizing.
Right. Exactly.
The groups that he doesn't like. Hey, that's cool. I'd be laughing my ass off. I mean, even if it's one of the groups I like, I think that'd be awesome.
I'd be right along with it. I'd be like, yeah, dude, I get it. I agree.
I'd be laughing my ass off if he was doing it to us. Look, I've been made fun of my whole life because I'm a fat guy. All right, there's not many fat jokes I haven't heard in this world, and it doesn't change the fact that I laugh my ass off every time I hear one. All right, I like fat guy jokes. I think they're great. Beardo, I love a lot of your content. I've come to enjoy hearing your voice and experiencing your personality. And some of the things you do just really crack me up. I think you seem like a genuinely cool guy, and I like that about you. However, the point is, if you, in fact, are doing it for ratings and views, I want you to know that you're not going to lose me as a viewer. If you are honest about it and say, look, this is why I do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just start becoming a critic. That's cool. I'm still gonna watch, and I'm still gonna laugh my ass off at some of the things you do and say, because you've got a great personality. But if you continue, and your plan is to just continue doing this to get drama built up and get views, then, like Ryan said, you're just going to continue to get, people saying the same thing, which is not that you're a bad guy or that your channel is bad or bad things about you. It's just we want to know. We want to tell you, look, you've got to stop saying things are fake without having hardcore evidence. Once again, thanks for joining us for the Para-Nuts Paranormal Podcast, where you never find two guys crazier about the paranormal than these nuts.
Bye-bye.
Oh, my gosh. Looking forward to hanging out with you guys again next week.